He's passionate about resource management and environmental awareness. Today's ocean innovator is incredibly knowledgeable on waste management. He's developing the idea of using artificial intelligence and blockchain with a project named WAISTE. Based in Bahrain, he's participating in various projects related to waste management in the Middle East region. He's also supporting local environmental groups such as Clean Up Bahrain and Bahrain Diving Volunteer Team. Everyone, please welcome Khalid Miethig, founder of WAISTE.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome ocean innovators and listeners and friends of the environment and the ocean.
Thank you, Kai. So, Kai, can you tell us more about your project?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. See, the idea now, step by step, artificial intelligence is taking over certain systematic research facilities and data storage. So within this kind of technology, we have as well the possibility that to store the data of the material itself. You know, once you have an idea, you can figure out, okay, which material is suitable later on for the best recyclable or reusable way. So once this data is as well stored in the process, while you produce a product, then you, of course, you have got the logistics, then you have the sales. So with all the circle from the idea till the production or the end use, we can store this information on the valuable material. And obviously at the end, with all this information, we can start properly segregating and having directly as well the value of the reused or reusable or used material as well. So which means the people will understand it's not waste, it's called resource material and it has a value. So the people will be most likely or hopefully then hesitating to throw this material and so throwing the value.
So why did you create WAISTE?
See, as a German, grown up in Germany and educated in Germany, we are always related to environmental protection, recycling, waste management, and these things. So when I came to the Middle East, I'm getting more and more in touch with AI, which is artificial intelligence. And it's a kind of jokey word, you know, waste, W-AI-STE. So it's a combination to use artificial intelligence for monitoring what kind of waste or what kind of material is used and produced within a product. So it can cover as well with the blockchain technology, the storage of the whole information till actually the product becomes kind of useless, but still there's value of a resource material.
That's very exciting. And can you tell us more how your actions take shape?
Yes, of course, sometimes when I explain to the people, they think, oh, Kai, you are, let's say, 15, 20 years ahead. But I tell them, see, right now, whenever we buy a product, we have a barcode or a QR code. So this barcode or QR code consists already some certain information on the price, where it's produced, and all these things. Actually, this barcode or the QR code just need to have more added information. So within this process, even, you know, when you go shopping, you get your e-receipt, for example, you will have not only the cost and the product, you have as well the resource or the value of the resource material. So this is kind of fascinating for the education. The more information the people have and the more we go into the digital transformation of our society, it will help to reduce waste, it will help to produce waste, and at the end the people will have knowledge on the value itself. After you drink your juice, your milk, your bread or whatever, so you still have a value knowledge in your hand, which you can then either maybe donate or then reuse for certain purposes.
Kai, who are your supporters?
Right now it's difficult because a lot of people, they are focusing on still business, because of course now we have a certain effort to be done. Nevertheless, the AI society here in Bahrain is quite supportive. I'm talking with some business people as well. And I'm in touch with a big supermarket chain to step by step develop this technology, at least to get rid of the normal receipts. Because nowadays everybody has an app, everybody has a mobile, a smartphone, So actually the transfer paper, which is non-recyclable, can get obsolete. And this is one part of the whole chain from the idea till the end.
That's great. And what are your needs and how can we help you?
Yeah, the first thing obviously is always education and understanding of this kind of vision. As I said, it's quite futuristic. Nevertheless, we're dealing with these things on a daily basis, and it would be great if Ocean Innovators can connect me with similar-minded people, and of course with similar-minded people who have a certain level of understanding for AI, for the whole process of product development, and as well obviously in the region of the environmental awareness, to understand that once you record the data from the day one of the idea, you will have data for the valuable material or value of the material itself at the end. So this whole chain needs a lot of generic knowledge, general knowledge, and as well obviously specific knowledge when it comes to the app programming, to the how to monitor it, how to actually define the value itself, because this needs to be coming from the people who are having the idea and delivering the material itself. So it's a quite big, let's say, octopus of people needed in order to make this whole circle to work, because it will work with the full circle. Of course, we can take steps out, but from each section, we need to have the brain and the mindset to support this one. So this would be great if Ocean Innovators can connect me and coordinate with these kind of minded people.
We will make sure to connect you. Kai, what do you think waste education matters?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, but it's definitely yes, it matters too much. When I do presentations, I'm always referring to the people that it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Unfortunately, the human species is the only one who's creating the waste. But when you ask the people, they really have not really a clue what waste they are producing, how much they are producing, which kind of waste they are producing. Some people, they just buy some stuff. Okay, it can be recycled. So which is happening actually in Germany. So everybody buys recyclable material, which is the third last option, recycling. Then you have got the waste to energy, and then you have got the landfill. So the first thing on education is how to reduce the waste, how to refuse anything what is not needed. And not maybe thanks to COVID, but now the people are getting down to earth and going back to the basics and buying only what they need, which is actually a very good thing, that humanity is learning a lesson from what's happening now.
And can you tell us a little bit more about the technology that you're working on?
Yeah, actually, it's different kind of technologies, because first of all, we will need to gather the information. Once you have an idea, you will see how many pieces or how the product is developed. Then, of course, it comes to the research on the different kind of material. And this is another information which is required in order to see how little is the carbon footprint of the material, which means better to source for your product local material rather than from far away. So you can even minimize the logistic footprint. And this goes on actually, and the idea obviously at the end is a kind of app which can read any kind of barcode and QR code, but it needs to contain then the relevant information in order to evaluate what is, except the product itself, like the juice or the milk as a packing, what is it value, or what is the value of it, and how can it be easily disassembled, and how it can be easily reused. And a lot of people, unfortunately, creating products which are very difficult to disassemble or to segregate, which means like composite materials, like, for example, Tetra Pak. It's a nice solution, but it's environmental so unfriendly that it can only be used for waste to energy, for example, which is the second last option.
Fascinating. And what are the particularities of waste management in the Middle East?
See, right now we are not really far developed when it comes to certain facilities. Specifically here in Bahrain, we are step by step developing technologies and these things, depending obviously as well on the size of the country, which is quite small with 1.5, 1.6 million people. So it's not that easy to have this amount of resources always available. And of course, throughout this kingdom, there's limitations because you need to have a certain amount of each and everything to make it really as well economically feasible. As a sample, paper cannot be recycled in Bahrain because for paper recycling, for example, you need to have sweet water, which is very rare here in Bahrain. So to create sweet water, it will be a little bit costly. Then to reproduce or recycle the paper to create recycled paper, it will be economically and as well ecologically not feasible at all. So here we have the paper collectors, they bound it, and then they ship it to areas where there is a certain amount of sweet water and a certain amount of used paper available in order to make it really as well economically and ecologically feasible. Elsewise, it would be a waste of time and I mean a waste of money and not helping the environment at all.
Fascinating. And do you think environment education is an effective way to protect our oceans?
Yes, definitely. The thing is, as mentioned earlier, education is always a key. Once the people have really an awareness of what they are doing and what they are doing with their products, what they are doing with their waste or resource material, then the people start thinking, okay, how we can prevent this one. And I'm always advising, or I'm very much in favor that the curriculum, I think in Italy they changed it now, that environmental awareness is part of the school system. But not only at school, we're talking about kindergarten, we're talking about companies, we're talking about universities, we're talking about institutions, government institutions. Everyone or every company or every institution should have a certain time in a week or in a month to educate your people in order to how to implement the maybe already achieved policies, because a lot of companies and institutions have policies in place, but the people itself, they don't know how to handle or how to implement and how to enforce it. They don't know how to handle it. And this is what we see on a daily basis. So education is definitely the key of each society. An educated society will prevent themselves from destroying what's somehow right now happening.
Thank you so much, Kai. It was a pleasure to have you today. We will finish with a one tweet length message that you would like to give to our people of action.
Yeah, see, we brought in 2017, we brought the Plastic Ocean movie here to Bahrain. And the Plastic Ocean movie concludes with a very nice sentence. It means from knowing comes caring, and from caring comes change. So knowledge, caring, change, these are the three major words which the people need to digest.
And there we go. That was Ocean Innovators release number 3, celebrating 10 years to achieve United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Don't forget to press the bell button to subscribe, and we will see you next time.